The state of Georgia previously said no votes were changed in the 2018 elections, nor were any Georgia machines manipulated. Georgia's Secretary of State's office today said it has already implemented many of the recommendations in the committee report. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger put out this statement as Georgia's chief elections official. I agree that even though the Senate Intelligence Committee found no evidence that any votes were changed or voting machines manipulated, election security should remain my office's top priority. Coming up at 6, we're speaking with the moderator of Meet the Press, Chuck Todd, about how the president is polling in Georgia and the pressure on Joe Biden in next week's Democratic presidential candidate debates.